how they make it like everything's
A subscription
really.
service.
He's the one who wants a monster dead.
Aye, but he don't need you to kill it. So, you want this job?
It's no longer a
Grab his attention.
succinct adventure that you just get the ticket for. Now it's like you gotta keep coming back and keep getting tickets. Otherwise you will be left behind, you filthy have-not.
Yeah, I mean, buy the ticket, do the ride, right?
Yeah, but now it's like they stop the ride and they're like, the guy comes to the
It's like, come back
conductor comes to the
later.
train car and he's like trying to punch everybody's tickets and you're like, "Man, what the hell, I already bought a ticket."
Gotta buy another one.
But no, you need to buy the ticket, the pass, or you could buy the executive pass and we won't throw you off the train anytime soon. Now, if you don't want to buy the season pass and then he just has like a Luger that he like just shows you from under his coat or whatever, you can get the fuck off the train. You're like in the middle of the Alps. It's just like wolves howling as the blizzards, winds will on by past the windows, and you're just like, it looks like fucking Snowpiercer out there.
Very well. Let's rejoin.
You people understand this is fucked as you're just getting escorted off the train. Do something! Fucking leave you for dead. And you're not gonna meet the guy from Monsters Inc. They're like, welcome to the Himalayas!
Yeah. Or fucking go cross country traveling. Gonna be fucking Eskimo brothers. Crazy shit like that. I mean, there's a bunch of people that fucking just go around traveling and shit, you know? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do that. Like, I understand it, but can't really.
Hey, you! Puss!
You there? Hello?
There's people that travel based on how dangerous a country is. The more liable you are to be killed for religious reasons, or blown up by IEDs, or
Find the
kidnapped and sexually trafficked, or have your organs trafficked. There's people that travel in countries specifically for that experience, just because they want the thrill of like, will we make it back alive? I think they call it like, instead of is it like vacationing or traveling? It's like, somebody pick up from here and keep talking. I'll try to figure this one out.
Yeah,
You should be able to play off.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just chilling, man. You're probably just getting high. Not really doing shit, you know? Fucking, I'm tired. I think everybody's tired now. You know, like, I
Don't
wanna.
we have other guests on here? Is nobody? Are we recording it? We should probably.
We are recording, yes. We started.
Yeah,
I was trying to get you surprised because I know you don't like the. Oh, it's a camera. You know, like the camera's on. Gotta be entertaining. Like so I try and get it when you're into a thought. You know, when you're in mid thought, because like I'm kind of the same way, but it's like. Because right now I'm kind of getting that feeling of, oh, I want to be entertaining, you know? Like, oh, I want to... But, like...
Yeah, like you're already like,
it's...
I'm hating this one, man. I'm gonna burn it down.
Yeah, it's like I'm already not liking it, you know? But it's like... But it's like... It's just because you're trying to capture the moment. You're trying to capture the picture, you know? And, I don't know. Like, it's a lot harder to do.
Capture.
Like for like if anyone thinks they can just fucking just like it's easy, like if you think it's easy to make like a song or fucking, it's not, man. It's fucking hard, man, because you're trying to capture something, so it's never what you genuinely want. Like if like in theory everything is easy, but if everything was easy, then why isn't everybody doing it?
If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yes.
That's one way of putting it. If you knew better, you'd do better.
Yeah, like I can't just fucking be entertaining 24/7. Well, I can, like me and him have had fucking conversations probably like 10 times better.
Like you're like, no, trust me, I'm actually very entertaining. You should come back another day. Me and my friend.
No, but like,
You should have been there. You should have been there.
damn, I just cut off their fucking heads and arms. Like a goddamn psychopath.
The best dismemberment and gore ever, still to this day in any game for me, is Fallout 3.
Yeah,
Especially
that was
once you
pretty
get
good.
the Bloody Mess perk. Nothing else. What do you call it? Actually, it's like the pure exclamation, like a blast of brass from that old-timey 50s, 60s, like Flash Gordon retro soundtrack of Ella Fitzgerald and the Ink Spots and Nat King Cole and BB King and all that. Whenever you would shoot somebody at the right time with VATS going, and it was like in slow motion, like with just the.
Wait, hold
like,
up.
weird songs on it, man. They had this one song that if people know it, they know what I'm talking about. From Fallout 3, fucking. What's it called? Crazy Pete or something. It was like a fucking. The song was basically like a big euphemism. I was like, man, they used to make dirty songs back then. It was like, oh, Pete just flew into this town and he's chopping on all the women's meat.
Well, if you look at like
hacking and
all the
walking
songs
and
back then, the lyrics were also very different and more subliminal.
Serial killer or rapist.
Well, I mean,
Definitely.
like the lyrics back then were more subliminal. They weren't just, oh, I fucked his bitch last night or some crazy shit. It was in much more of a. It was much more of a subliminal sense in like that time of or that era.
Music has gotten more and more persistently written for a dumber audience and a much more dimmed down populace. It used to be written at a much more higher level. When you go back and look at old lyricism, like a song like Roy Clark, Yesterday, or Dust in the Wind by those Wind Faggots, or what's that one song that everybody always references, that Hallelujah. Like, now music is written on a level of where they just get away from the beans, Bean. Get away from the beans. It's written on a level of just fifth graders. Just, they want you to be able to sing along with it and sing to it. Like, that one song is almost like the epitome of what music is nowadays for me, I Can Make Your Hands Clap. It's like, that is all music's argument is, this generation of music's argument is, as to why it shouldn't be a footnote to whatever comes next. It's like, no, man, you understand though, I can make your hands clap. Like, every night,
Yeah.
every day. He's just kicking the dirt, awkwardly looking down at his feet. Like, is that all you got? That's it? Okay then, well, we're moving on now.
Because you
And
can
whatever
sing
comes
along
next.
to it, it's easy. I
sound really good with computers. Fuck you.
well, I mean, everything needs to be dumbed down anyways, because there's dumb people, there's fucking idiots.
The majority of people that you will meet are never argue with stupid people, just put it that way. Never argue with them because they'll bring you down to their level and they'll beat you with experience. And there's more of them than there is you, and there always will be. You can't underestimate how stupid the majority... I mean, that's why stuff like Destiny sells. That's why a majority of people are going to tell you that you're just being a whiny little entitled gamer, and that No Man's Sky wasn't legitimate fraud, and that they shouldn't be taken to task for that, or that it's okay what games became, because if you don't have the money to pay for the full ride, then you're just a have-not, and you should get the fuck out. And it's like, no, it doesn't make it right just because no one has a barometer to know that it was ever different.
Just because they don't have the money to play the game, it's not right.
Yeah, they make it like everything else now. They're like, well, I mean, if you don't have the money for Netflix, you're not getting Stranger Things. Or if you don't have the money for Dish Network, you're not getting all these useless channels that you're never going to watch. If you don't have the money for Sports Illustrated, you're not getting the swimsuit issues. It's like everything before used to be like you're going to pay as you go, you're going to pay for the ride, you're going to pay for the experience. Video games never were that.
Now
They were this
it's paying in the
small
long
little
term.
niche industry, this cult little hobby that was like, you buy one game, and sometimes that game is a world unto itself where somebody that was just toiling away in seclusion and solitude before threw their money at them and was like, make us the thing we want. They were making the thing they wanted, and that's why you got a game.
That was amazing.
We're even like, what is this shit?
Right.
Like stuff that you go back and you'll probably turn on games from the PS2 that you're like, I never got all these alternate uniforms for Ratchet, but they were there for me to get if I wanted to.
Oh
just
my,
sucked.
that's a game. Oh my, Ratchet
Yeah,
and
the
Clank.
amount of fucking alternate uniforms in those games, Ratchet and Jack and Daxter. And
I never really got into like Ratchet and Clank though, probably just because of like.
You ever played Katamari?
Calamari? No.
The amount of no, me and my Katamari.
No, never played it. Never even heard of it. No, never heard of
Dude,
it.
that shit was my fucking childhood, man. Your dad is the king of the cosmos. He's basically like a feminine, heterosexual, gay, big, multicolored, cone-headed god man that fucks up and destroys the whole universe, and you are his son, the little prince, and you have to roll up the universe and bring it all back together, so you roll around these balls called Katamaris, and they can go from being the size of a pill bottle, and you're rolling up like gum wrappers and matchsticks and figurines, candies and dust and boxes and termites. Rolling up bits of the carpet, then you start rolling up the shoes, then you start rolling up people's pants, and then the cars on the driveway outside, then the tires on the trucks on the highway, then the highway itself, then you roll up the tri-state area, then the fucking state of Japan, then you start rolling up the world, and then you turn that into a star, and your dad still isn't pleased, because anybody that's played those games knows that your dad is a dick.
Yeah, I mean that's a common. I feel like that's just a common like that's taking the nick out of fucking America because that's common in America.
It's more taking the
because in America,
men in that sense of that the man is always the butt of the joke is like the Jerry. Like that's why Jerry is the complete ass and the beta cuck of Rick and Morty. I mean, from the very beginning, it's like if you think that you're going to be a man in this day and age and be looked at as anything more than Dilbert or Homer Simpson, there's another thing coming. Because you're going to have all the responsibility, but really you're just going to be the fucking, like, man up and do it, and don't ever expect to exert your authority, because that would be the patriarchy. We can't have that.
Yeah.
Why you got all these games like Fortnite and Agents of Mayhem and Apex Legends and all these games where it's like Overwatch, where it's like the majority of women characters are either bi or gay or trans or pansexual or anything but hetero, anything but straight, because that is the worst thing you can be now. That is the freaky thing. That is the
well,
thing
if you're white, that's only if you're black.
To be a straight white male of a conservative status following the legitimate status quo, or what was once the status quo, is now like punk rock, is now like counterculture. Which is kind of funny, because before, when I was growing up, the counterculture was punk rock. The counterculture was like, anarchy, man, we're gonna spray a big anarchy symbol on the back of this business and throw a fucking rock through the window of the middle school. It's like, no, nowadays it's like, I'm gonna fucking cut my dick off and hate Trump like 90% of the populace.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
like,
not...
because punk is doing what everyone else is doing.
There's still
Punk
a few
used to
people
be
though.
like, man, fuck the fucking system, man. Anarchy!
Or it's very
All that
forced
shit.
and it's not even real.
And nowadays, anarchy and the system and sticking your middle finger up to the system is like, yeah, bro, I hate Trump too. He's a total racist, bro. Yeah, bro. Fucking no, what is it? It's like, or like the thinking that, oh yeah, it's racist if the coronavirus is targeting Chinese or any of this stupid shit that people know nothing about, but they let the mainstream media put a narrative into their head because the majority of the populace is just a slew of catchphrases and slogans and commercials and like people I know that still talk about like, hey man, you remember Little Nicky? You remember Jeff Dunham? And you're like, yes, I too was 13. Now, what have you done for the last 10 years? And they're like, no, that's all I remember. I just want to talk about Adam Sandler movies from the 2000s and Jeff Dunham and Ahmed the Dead Terrorist. It's like...
Ahmed the Dead Terrorist, yeah.
What the fuck? Like, so much stuff has happened since then that it's like, I just can't talk to people like that. It's like they have their cocoon, they have their place, their
place
seat
of living.
experience where they feel good about what the world was and it didn't change for them, and even though a lot of shit has changed, they're still home and you can't bring them from their abode.
Yeah, you
Now,
can't.
it's like there's so much other stuff that's going on, you're like, really, just Ahmed, you know, like, not even Covington kids, not even Gamergate, not even fuck the 2008 recession to the fucking, like, any, just, hey guys, I'm Little Nicky, yeah, it's just a fucking movie Adam Sandler did. Like, any, like,
Yeah.
it just blows my mind that some people, I mean, not as much as I get older, but when I was much more younger, you're like, people can't be that stupid, we'll rise above, we'll
be
get-
smart, and there's just
we're gonna
fucking
get to
idiots.
space. It's gonna be a utopia, it's gonna be a beautiful...
Well,
world.
utopia always
Wow.
turns into a dystopia anyways in all
A
stories.
utopia can't come about unless it is organically meant to come about. You can't. A utopia isn't something you can construct or you can actively
And-
bring about by your own will. It has to
Almost
just
like how
be.
Rome wasn't built in a day. You can't do that.
And forever, as we are as long as we're in a retaliation spiral instead of a wealth spiral, that is basically out of the question. So all you can really do is just sit back, play your games, try to get some money. If you're not doing that, frankly, you're kind of stupid, because that's the points in this game. Again, if we're talking about life as a game, would you just sit there and, like, I used
Would
to
you
think
just
that,
sit
again, when
there
I was-
every day? Just
Yeah, you're like, man, I don't need fucking credits in Warframe. Fuck you, you're all doing it wrong. I don't care about credits. I'm better than you. What, do you care if you have 6 million credits? You care if you have platinum? What, does that make you a man? Does that make you a better Warframe?
yeah,
I
like
have nothing. And I can do nothing
if
in this
people
game. And I will get
like a
through
lot
it,
of people
but
that
I'm
grind on
better than you.
games too don't grind in real life, and that's
Yeah, the more and more that I started grinding in game, that I stopped grinding in games, I fucking began to grind in real life and get to a better place in my actual life. Like, years ago when I played Warframe like my fucking career, because I didn't have a job, I was way better at it. I was way better at games. And now that I have a job and I work like 45, 50, 60 hours a week, it's like I don't have as much time to play games anymore. Or when I do, I sit down and I'm just like, I don't really feel this right now. Or
Yeah,
I want to
like-
do something else rather than just run around Warframe and just be
yeah,
like,
like there's so much to live for in life. Like if you think like everything in a video game, like or even in movies, you can do in real life. Honestly, like I mean, there's a few things here and there like killing people and shit, but like.
well, I mean,
like-
Warframe, you'll never be able to do any of that in real life unless you take
Yeah.
a big enough dose of DMT.
Yeah, like honestly, like I even like the reason I'm not saying do drugs, but like drugs will definitely give you a creative mindset of like what, like at least for some. I'm more meaning in psychedelics. Psychedelics, taking a psychedelic is like watching the movie. It's like experiencing a game. It's beyond.
Yeah, for some people, I think there are some people that should not take them at
Oh,
all, because
definitely
it can be
no.
an absolute psychological, like, we're not
It could be a
advocating
mind
for
fuck
anything.
because
You
a
do
lot of
whatever you
people
want
are
out
not
there.
ready. A lot of
Young
people.
viewers.
A lot of people already like oh, the reason, because there's a good reason why you should not do drugs, but like because a lot of people can't handle them. A lot of people are so used to being told like, oh, this is so like this is
People
the
aren't ready
normal,
for
this
an
is
ego
normal.
death. People aren't ready to be at a party and you're your 15-year-old self, and then the shrooms kick in for the first time, and 4 hours later you're having conversations with yourself like, kill him, he interrupted you, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And you're like, the thing is talking to you, you're like,
and that's
what is
just
this?
and that's
I am
just
not,
you.
and it's like, wait, are we?
And
are
that's
we going
just
to kill these
you.
people? And you're like, no, man, you're clearly an asshole. You're using the people in your life like a shadow, like a former version of yourself, and everybody can just sit around and be like, oh, look at you, you're so sad, and this is such a bad life. You're gonna die. You're gonna fade into the earth and rot away. Everything you ever loved, you ever did, every game you ever played, every controller you ever wore out, from the N64 to the PS9, it's all gone. Most people aren't ready for that, in the same sense of like, you're hanging out with a thing that's like,
You're hanging out with
okay,
an
man,
entity.
okay, man, I get it. I get it. It's like having that conversation. It's like, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And your mom's
Just
gonna
over
die.
and
Your dad's gonna die,
over and over.
And then you'll be like, I'm sorry, everything is so beautiful. Everything is love, man. It's all love and life.
I've had a trip like that.
And then as you're crying, and the same thing, shrooms can also be like, are you crying, you faggot? Look at this guy, he's crying. You're gonna die and you're crying over it.
Yeah, it's like you can,
it can. Most people aren't ready for that seed of consciousness.
Shrooms are very much like if you take
them.
It's like when you take them, it's like you talk to your best and worst friend.
And it never ends. It's like a collage of like, it can be like you just thought a thought of like, man, I need a glass of water, glass of water, glass of water, glass of water, glass of water.
Yeah, over
and it's like
and
forever, and
over
you're just sitting there and you're like, I gotta equip. You get this. If I just like.
Yeah. It's very much like a video game too. Like,
yeah, you start to feel like you're like, how long have I been here? I'm gonna go here. I gotta get. You start to get the thing of like, I have to equip the items. I need to equip. And you're just like, what the fuck am I trying to equip? And you're like, everything.
Yeah, it's like I always remember. Everything was like a quest. Like just going to like just doing normal things. Like going.
Like a pile of like, I got a lighter. I got.
It's like, I gotta get the lighter, and it's like you're on a journey to get a lighter.
You have like all your shit, and you're just like walking around your room, eventually just like, what is this shit? What?
Yeah, and then you start to question everything.
And this is like 4 hours in, and you're like going to be there for another 9 or 10 hours. Most people aren't ready for that at all, and most of the time what you realize, as Terrence McKenna said, is like when you get the message, hang up. I mean, psychedelics, in all effect, is really just like, you are never going to... The greatest thing that I ever learned on psychedelics was that you're on the verge of realizing everything and nothing. You're spending time in a world that is passing you by, that you're going to have to know some sort of... If you're smart, you'll know how to code, you'll know how to do Bitcoin, you'll know how to do any of the shit that most of the people in my line of work, in my life, in this region of the state, don't know anything about. Like, what?
Because they're just...
Bitcoin. Yeah, man, I play Pac-Man.
Yeah, they don't know how to invest or...
Like, psychedelics, man, I've done them long enough in my life to know now. It's like, it's just, when you get the message, hang up. And a lot of times, the message is just a dial tone.
Yeah, it's not even just...
the majority of your life down under the water, just in the fathomless depths, but the bioluminescent sea life, and you're just like, what is it, man? How long have we been here? And who created this? And who set this in motion? And was it the egg or the asshole telling you about the egg? And it's like, you're going to be a Chinese peasant girl, and you're like, the fuck I am.
It almost feels like, it almost feels more like scientists, that's what people like to get into for stuff like that. But it's more spiritual, because with science you can't do spiritual stuff, you can't do...
Because in the end, all you will do, in the end, is just like, you'll just come back every time, and if you really have to get a job or make
the one thing I liked about taking shrooms is that I felt reincarnated after I did it. Like, I felt like a new person.
Definitely, I believe in shrooms as a therapeutic thing. You should take them like once every few years, but like, I think people that try to take psychedelics as a campfire drug or a party thing, you're completely doing it wrong, because psychedelics are for serious spiritual growth, and you delve inside yourself. Like,
not even just spiritual growth, mental growth.
Yeah, man, we're gonna go. Yeah, it's like you're just 13 for the first time. You're like, me and my homies scored some shrooms. They said they're cool. We're gonna go out and do them. Like, prepare yourself for anything and everything on psychedelics, because you will face the dark night of the soul. You will face things.
That's
about yourself
a real
that
psychedelics.
Like, am I really talking to myself this way? Am I really admitting these things to myself that you know in your heart of heart are true, but you'll never truly admit them to yourself? Psychedelics will make you face them.
Yeah, they will make you...
You're like, I am a sick fuck. I'm a usury. I'm a bastard. I'm a complete... Like, things that you lie to yourself about. Things when you try to make yourself think like, I'm the main character of this story, and this story is rated G. It's like, the fuck it is.
Yeah, it's very much. I told
myself when I was younger that I realized, I'm like, even as a little boy, I realized this. I wasn't allowed to watch rated R movies. I wasn't allowed to watch like type of shit like that or play M-rated games and stuff like that because my parents gave a fuck about me. In a way, as a man, as you get older, still you're sort of jealous of guys that were like having sex at the age of 13, or like fucking watching rated R movies, or smoking, or drinking wine, or whatever. But then you realize that, or smoking weed at the age of 12 or 8 or whatever
It's
the fuck.
not-
And they're like, yeah, man, I've been smoking since the age of 6, and like I'm like, yeah, you could have easily just been getting butt fucked by the mailman because no one gave a goddamn about where you were or what was happening to you.
I mean, it's also very much too like drugs and shit.
Get away from the macaroni bean.
Like when you're just doing shit, like it's very like you're gonna get looked at badly. Like people are gonna look down on you for your decisions when they deal with almost the same shit.
But going for about a few minutes
Yeah.
now, and our guests are very quiet.
Yeah, I think it's just
Speak
gonna
up,
be.
boy.
I think it's just us, man. I don't think we really had a guest. No,
It's not like I'm Anthony Kumi over here. I'm not even making any racist tweets. But if it's that intimidating, we can move on to the next subject, which would be something else. Something to do with games, listeners. Because what else is there except games? Politicians are playing games. Bitches are playing games. Men are playing games.
Everyone's
Kids are playing
playing video
games.
games.
It's a game, man.
Yeah, I mean, games are very well. It used to not be that like big of a thing, like until I would say around when Ninja came out. Until when I said
Video games started
Ninja,
getting
maybe.
big in, like, as far as how big they got from when I was a kid to like what they are now, it was very much in the Xbox One and PS4 generation, probably from 2014 onward, because it just started becoming like what it is now, where it's like when the yuppies come into anything, when the masses come into anything, that happened with Vegas, that happened with motorcycles, that happened with comic books and movies and geek culture and Comic-Con. It starts catering to the lowest common denominator, much as what I feel is happening to Rick and Morty now, with the writer change and the entire change of the series in general. It just feels much more catered to the people that love it now for the pop culture iconography and the meme god status that it is, rather than the creation that it was when it was a few cult people that were like, this is something really interesting. Whenever it's just like
I remember when I was younger, like, I think I don't really know what my first game was, but like even just board games and shit, like it was very interesting, you know, like it's very interesting how they use things like chess as a metaphor as far as like gaming goes and shit. Like I don't know, maybe it's just
I used to be
just
really good
me.
at chess. I completely forgot how to play it.
I never forgot how to play it, but oh my, did I get whooped. I went to when I was in like a mental clinic, there was these people that won like chess tournaments and shit.
Shall I sign you up for another?
Chess tournaments in a mental clinic.
Yeah.
Next, you'll tell me that there was people there rocking back and forth.
Nah, I did hear though that in there was people that threw shit on the walls, and there was shit smeared all over the
DiCaprio's
walls.
gonna show up and try to solve his own murder.
Nah, like if you really wanna like talk about shit like that, like mental clinics are not what you think, but I was also in the kids unit. The adult unit is very where all the fucked, like the fucking crazy people are. Like that's where all the crazy people are. But some people just go there because they want to get away from their wife. Like there are people that need breaks because they have wives and kids up their ass every 10 seconds and every day. And who the fuck would want that, you know? Probably didn't even want to have kids, didn't want any of that. So
Quick
why the fuck
sidebar.
would
Ben
they?
is going to take over and entertain you guys for a moment. I gotta go deal with something. Now it's on you, buddy.
Yeah. No, but like places like mental institutions, it's very much, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they do and a lot of the shit. Like, I don't like how they fucking do everything to give children that are under the age of, like, 13 drugs. I feel like kids that are under the age of 13 should not even take pills, but what am I to say? I'm not a fucking medical expert. I just don't agree with it because I feel like it fucks. Like, I know if I was fucking like 12, or no, they put me on Ritalin at goddamn, like, fucking, when I was little, like, fucking Ritalin. Like, dude, that's just, like, proves a lot. It's like, cause Ritalin is very, like, it's not really, I don't think it's good for someone when they're in the first grade. Cause I remember I was in fucking the first grade class seeing goddamn demons and time was moving slower than fucking molasses. Like, I don't know, maybe it was just me tripping out, but I know what I saw. I'm not fucking, I mean, it's a very good chance that I did see it too. But like, it's very much like, it's very much, what am I trying to say here? It's very like, I don't believe that that's what people should do, but I'm not a medical expert. I can't tell you whether that should be the case or not, because I don't know shit. I mean, like, you can only know so much, man. You can only know so much, and it's like, I wish I could know everything. I wish I could be fucking the knower of all information, because then I would be, it would definitely be better for myself. You know, like if you knew everything, knowledge is power, knowledge is the greatest strength, in my opinion. It's very, like, if you have knowledge that you're above the curve of many people, many men, many women, many anything, like, if you know, like, fucking the saints, the old, the before, the after, like, the people that, all the people that came here before us, like, what, like, they are the ones that created this. If everything tomorrow just went out into fucking pit of flame, what would happen to fucking, what would happen to the smuck and the fucking people, like, what if everybody that lived tomorrow was just dumb people, like autistic people? What would happen to those, like, I don't know, I don't think people think about it, maybe they do, but like, if autistic, let's say pit of fire, and all we had to run this world was autistic and like Down syndrome people that don't have any knowledge whatsoever. Like, what is good about that? What comes with that? What, like, there's nothing good about that at all, for one. And how are they gonna build back up? Like, what are you gonna do to build back up when you're fucking autistic or have Down syndrome, you know? Fucking nothing. Because you can't even function like a normal human being. Like, you think unfunctioning people, the people that like, you think they can fucking function? You think they can do anything? You think they, like, if every...
Rick, the way that he burped in the pilot. Morning.
No, I was just talking about how if everybody died and, I was talking about how everybody died and we had autistic people to run the world. Or all that was left,
dude,
was autistic people. Huh? That's a series?
It's just Pole. All that's left is just Pole. Be just a fucking bunch of monuments of Corona-chan and talking about nogs and new fags and lurk more, and people will be mandated to lurk.
Yeah, it's very,
Needs to be destroyed.
it's very much though like
People getting on there with
what?
old memes. If you have an old meme, they're like, fucking get a
No,
knock at your door.
but like
So we're notified you're posting old memes. You're gonna have to come with us. Honey, get the. And as they like pull out their guns and like black bag you, and they're pulling you into the car. Get in the car. Honey, upload my memes.
yeah, it's very much like that.
Especially the crying Jordan one. And it's just like, this is why we have to take you in, sir. You're cringe.
Or they're fucking, where it's like, this is why we gotta take you in because fucking, you posted some crazy shit about a shooting. You posted a video of a guy killing himself. I don't know, I feel like
Dustin
videos like,
Hoffman getting shoved into the car screaming, hack the planet! It's him screaming, Epstein didn't get Dad, just stop! Just go with the car, don't fucking...
it's almost obvious, like, it's so obviously that that man didn't, that man fucking didn't kill, like, he may have killed himself, but it's so obvious that that man did not, that man fucking,
They just throw us a fish to get off the scent of the people that are really still doing stuff. If people think that was the only island full of those kind of unsavory activities, they're naive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, there's probably fucking islands nobody even knows about. That
Like, that
only,
man acted alone. For one, I'm sickened that our country would go to, but this man acted alone, and it was found that there is absolutely no... So what that he was just fronted a villa for, or he was just given his fortune.
you
just
mean
kinda
an
popped
$80
up out of
million
nowhere.
house? Getting like an
I think it
80?
was something like that, or something like
Crazy.
a billion or something, 8 billion, 9 billion. It was a lot. This guy just basically popped up out of nowhere, and you'll get that unless you are probably blackmailing very powerful people.
Yeah.
But the meme, all that, Epstein himself is dead. And they got away with it, and they'll always get away with it. You come back to the conversation of they, and they is just a dead end. It's the end of reason, it's the end of the question. Whether it's the Hivites enslaving you, as some people like to acronym that one, and if it's the Hivites, and as they say in the Hivites, what is it? Murder is death, death is murder. And so it's like basically you don't die unless you get murdered or go out in a way that's like, oh, they overdosed or they were murdered, much like celebrities and much like that world. But if it is they, if it is them, if it is the proverbial
Sometimes I almost
eye
wish
at
it
the top of the
is.
pyramid, you can't do shit. You can't do anything, but you still have to get a job. You still have to provide for your family. That one will be a constant.
Sometimes I almost wish, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a good thing that we don't know shit like that, but sometimes I'm like, no, just to like what if we did
Like, I know
know?
all this stuff, man, but like when you get to the point I'm at, like it doesn't
It doesn't even matter who you tell.
Nobody cares. The best thing you could do is do what Rockstar does. Fucking design a game or design a product that will literally sell people the access ticket to be like, hey, isn't Western civilization and the American dream vapid and empty as all hell? But thanks for your $65, because they can see the joke, they can see the strings of the puppetry, to quote Atmosphere, but they know it enough to be able to sell you the money where it's like you can grow up thinking like, yeah, man, it is a joke, and I'm in on the joke with these guys, but it's like, these guys are 7 figures rich, you're still the little punk just laughing at their shit.
Yeah. And there's a lot of media.
And that's the same thing with Rick and Morty, that's the same thing with so many things that are like, you're gonna pay us to tell you how fucked you are. And you're gonna pay us.
Yep. You're gonna pay us to
dude,
tell us that
I
you're
am
a fucking
holding-
idiot.
You know what I'm holding right now, Ben?
What?
I'm holding a Pickle Rick figurine that I ordered because I had to have it because I'm a crow. Because even though I know that this is a consumer society, even though I know this is a capitalist machine, we're all just proletariat consumer nodes, like, I still like stuff. I still like video games. I still like pop culture. I still like arts. I still like Pickle Rick. And that's why there will never be a Boogaloo. There will never be a revolution. People that fucking think there will, wake up, get a job, get a good job, make your life and your family's life as best as you can, because odds are it's never going to change if you don't change it. Especially if you aren't in the fading, disappearing.
I mean, like, if you're really ready to kill somebody, like, and a lot of people, are you really ready to kill someone when when you've fucking been told to be sensitive your whole life?
When you press X to reload your whole life and you actually fire a 44 or you fire a 357 and you're just like, what the fuck was that? Like that kid on Penn and Teller that he actually fired a saw and he cried, and he's one of the he's like the #1 Call of Duty player in America, and he cried when they had him fire a real gun.
Yeah, it's like
people don't want shit to hit the fan. I don't want shit to hit the fan. All these people that are like thinking that they're like some sort of prepper status, that they're like some sort of like, man, it would be like Fallout, picking up people's guns, looting people, getting shit. You're gonna die in the first 24 hours probably. Somebody is gonna come up and just shove their thumbs in your eyes as you both fall to the ground and you just die.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna bite your nutsack off in a civil war.
Faster.
Like, people don't want what they think they want.
Because the people that are really gonna...
And the world is too comforting. The world is too... Dude, if I look at my fucking mainstream on my screen on my PS4 right now, dude, I've got an internet browser that if I wanted to, I could look at any type of degenerate, hedonistic, nonsensical porn that I want, and I don't need to.
Well,
but I fucking
a lot of porn you need to go to.
Myriads of games. You've got streaming services, movies, Hulu, fucking Warframe, free-to-play games like Fortnite. You've got, like, people are so pacified and so sedated. You're not going to be out in the streets fighting for blood like you're in Gangs of New York. You're not fucking Bill the Butcher. You're a millennial. You're a Zoomer. You're a kid born in the generation after the Industrial Revolution, after the Digital Revolution, after the advent of automation to such a point where you probably don't even know, most of you, a world without the internet, a world without streaming, a world without games, a world without more entertainment that you can fucking probably ever consume in your natural born life. There's never going to be a revolution. If you're thinking that, get off it, because you're gonna waste the rest of your life.
If they do, even if they hear a word of it, you know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna give us more media to watch.
Bread and circus, man. And again, I am not saying shit because I have stuff that I like. I fucking love the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty. Whatever it is now, everything gets ruined. Nothing great lasts forever. I love what Grand Theft Auto was.
Everything
I love
must
BioShock.
end.
I love the PS4. It's the best. It is the PS2 of this generation, and it fucking deserves that and earned that place. The world is a dynamic,
changing
huge subcategories upon subcategories upon genres upon subgenres of life, of different ways of life. And in the end, it all comes down to if you can hack it, if you can play this game, if you can simultaneously understand that somewhere out there right now, there is probably somebody being brutally murdered on the deep web for money on a fucking webcam. But you could still go out and get a job and buy a burger and hug your mom and fucking live your life because you're lucky enough not to be that poor son of a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, like, and then I guess that also gets into like, oh, well, you should feel like bad for these people, but you really can't. You'll never get to see them. You'll never get to see these whistleblowers, these people that may know anything, because they're all dead or they're getting tortured. Or
the best thing you can do for people that are living lives of torture, or where they're in a girl next door situation where that one mom held her daughter in the basement and tortured her and raped her all through the 1950s and 60s, and it was pretty much just like a suburban household where it was like Leave It to Beaver. It was like no one would even know that was going on next door. Best thing you can do when you're not one of the people in these lives is to live your life to the fullest, to enjoy it, because you're a lucky bastard. But too often, as is with angst and youth, you're going around like, man, my fucking parents, man, I didn't even ask to be born, man. Fucking, I'm so deep, man, I should be dead. Everything is useless, man. Everything is pointless. I'm a nihilist because it's deep. And God is a lie. It's like everybody goes through that shtick. Everybody goes through that phase, and eventually you will realize that whether or not God is a lie, Mother Nature isn't. If you think you're not, and you don't have an established formula yet, you don't have a job, you don't have a sustainable source of income, you're gonna need that. No matter what, you're gonna need that. Nobody told me that when I was younger, and I had to get my life started at the age of 19. I learned to drive at the age of 24 because I never gave a fuck about cars. I still don't. They're just a form of conveyance. But if no one tells you that there is no starting gun, if you're waiting for your life to begin, if you're waiting to be like these people in the cartoons you probably watch and grow up with and love, or the movies or the books or the video games, if you're waiting for your phase, for your season 2, it's never going to begin unless you make it so.
You're the author of your own story.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be out. Fortnite Season fucking 8 is going to be out. Again, Trump is no longer going to be the president, and you're still going to be where you are. If you don't fix what you need to fix, get out there and slay the dragons that need to be slain.
If you're...
To quote that crazy meth head, Jordan Peterson, clean your room. And wash your penis, buckos.
Yep. I mean, there's meth heads everywhere too, like drugs and meth. Like you may think of it like, oh, that's such a unknown thing. Like, there are things out there that you will never hear about. They will never see done actually happen. That very much happen, and they're very much alive and existing. And
yeah, well,
very
I'm just
much.
a guy in my day-to-day life, making $11 an hour, being a card associate or whatever for a huge corporate chain. Basically like the main character in a cyberpunk where you all work for one giant multinational conglomerate that has amassed every brand under its all-seeing eye and taken everyone under its wing to be like, everybody works for By and Large, everybody works for Shearco, everybody works for Walmart. And you live in a tiny cubicle, sectioned off, singular existence where you have your hedonistic escapism and all the things that you like to do and run away from what the world really is and what reality really is. It's like, no, I'm not a single 20-something in a world that is currently going more and more to a demographic shift and me dying in a lawless, Mos Eisley cantina of a borderless, nameless, what used to be America, which is just a hub that the rest of the world will flood in and out of as the years go on and aimlessly march forward with the indifference of time and man. No, I'm a level 30 fucking prime Warframe, bitch. Look at my Kubro. Look at me run across the fields. I am a god. I am not going to die. When very much you are. It's all just flailing against the inevitable, against the void. Every rank in Apex Legends, every level conquered, every perk and skill developed in Skyrim, every vast array of that continent in Skyrim that you've mapped out and you're like, I've done everything, I own this world, come at me. It's just a way for us to really run from the fact that things are getting bad out here. People could say that they always have. People could say that we've always lived in interesting times. I mean, hell, they fucking killed college students in the 60s in Kent State. They shot about 9 people. Can you imagine that shit if that was on Instagram and there's like, they shoot different niggas, they be shooting people out here? Like, it'd be fucking all over social media and shit would be going crazy. But yet, people don't seem to have a barometer for like, look, shit is popping off and shit will continue to pop off. Some people believe that we're about to go through another 1970s, an era of political assassinations and car bombings and economic strife and downturns and inflation and bubbles popping and people freaking out over a war that may or may not ever begin, whether or not we're going to go there. I'm signed up for the draft because if you're anybody, as a man, you have to fucking sign that whenever you turn, pretty sure, 18.
And when people get too used to peace,
die in a globalist war, but then I'll be just a draft dodger pretty much trying to get out of here. If that ever happens, we trigger a war with Iran or
right now we're
some
all
other
too
person
peaceful.
that we're coming over and like, I'm gonna kick over your sandcastle.
Well, I mean, it's very unlikely that that shit's gonna happen because there are companies making drones that make it so they don't and they're spending millions into just hardware and tech for fucking to make sure shit like that doesn't happen. But who knows? Maybe there's just
soldiers carry ID tag guns.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that. Like, I feel like a gun is or a weapon. Like, eventually we're gonna get to the point where people are gonna need to use swords and fucking those kind of weapons because guns are not gonna be usable. If you try and use a gun, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna press on it and it's not gonna let you fire because it sees you as a threat.
All you gotta do then is just find another one exactly like that, and if your repair skill is competent, you can repair it. In Fallout, you find 100-year-old rifles that have been buried in the radioactive dusts of the wasteland, and you're just like, oh, this fucking thing still fires. I'm gonna go kill a super mutant. I'm gonna go blow its head off at 30 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go to the town, mez the mayor, his head's gonna explode. Then I'm gonna have to kill the local sheriff. Man, Fallout was such a great game. Fallout, BioShock, Borderlands 1. I love Borderlands 2, I really do, I respect it, but it's not, like, it was so many years apart from 2009 to Borderlands 2 in 2012, at least for me, and then how much it changed that I even forgot until I went back many years later and played Borderlands, and that's why I think they didn't put it on the Handsome Collection, because it's just so jarringly different. Borderlands is a very gory game. I mean, that game is way more gory than Borderlands 2, as most people call it, Meme Lands 2.
Yeah.
But the majority of Borderlands 2 is just like the I Can Has Cheeseburger days and the funny junk days of the internet. They're like, none of this is even... This is all dead.
I almost kind of miss it, you know? It's nice.
Yeah.
To be in an age of internet memes and silly culture. But all that
in an
is
age
gone.
whenever you don't have to actually have any mystery anymore. You can just take out your phone, look it up, and you know exactly what you couldn't think of.
Yeah,
like, people have no idea how much... Like, how many of you have tried to actually legibly print something, or to write a letter, or can you fucking spell anymore? Do you even realize if you can spell anymore because your phone is like, you're a dumbass and you type every word wrong, but I corrected, so you think you're Mr. Smart.
The phone
It's kind of
carries...
scary how fucking stupid people are getting. Dysgenic, it's the national IQ lowering, it's the beginning of the end. You need to be at least a civilization of, everyone has to have an IQ of above 90, I think, to have a first world civilization. We're going lower and lower and lower down that scale.
People, and you'd think we're going higher, but yet they're trying to force school, and they're trying to make school so damn hard. Like yeah, I feel like
they're not even making school hard. They're dumbing it down because the more kids they have in the system, the more checks they get. Obviously, we're dumbing this down. We probably don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but they don't want there to be any less kids in the system than any less checks that they can sign, because whenever these kids fail, they're like, we're not getting that money, so we need to pass these kids. We need to make it less and less strict. So you have people getting into,
not like that for me.
That are just, yeah, me neither. You had to know your shit. If you were failing, you were failing, and that was it. You were gonna do summer school. Dude, I didn't even graduate, and I'm fucking making good money, I've got a good job, I support family. Like, you don't need to graduate. You don't need a high school diploma, really, for the world that they're setting up for you. If you're not a Let's Player, if you're not going to be an internet-savvy motherfucker, if you're not going to have your own business, your own podcast, your own entrepreneurial venture, then you're going to join the workforce, and you may as well just get on it. You don't need a fucking high school diploma. You just need to have the hard head ethic of showing up every goddamn day and doing the job, no matter what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for
Show
me, for
an
school
artist
and shit.
too
like-
lazy or too stubborn to take job X or Y, and I'll show you someone I can crack like a walnut.
Wait, sorry, say that again? Yeah, really?
To quote Stephen Pressfield from The War of Art, if you
Yeah.
think anything is beneath you, then the world has already beaten you. People out there are like, man, I'm never going to work in a restaurant, I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to... If it's all that's left and it really is the only option, you're either going to keep being a NEET, or you're going to step up.
Yeah.
The more and more that I get into games and as many different games as I play, you start to ask yourself, like, what part of themselves is this person trying to convey with this game? Like, why make a game?
What are they trying to show?
Like, yeah, like I said, you look past the mechanics of any game. Like, look at Apex Legends. You look, I don't play it, but you look past the mechanics of it just being a multiplayer shooter. What spurred those guys to fucking give a damn to make this thing a reality? Beyond the money, there is more than just money. It's loving your art enough to make the money, because it's obviously you love it enough to make it a career. But like, why these people get up every day rather than just killing themselves, rather than just taking the money and going and retiring? Why they're gonna keep, like, why Digital Extremes wanted to make Warframe? Like, what fucking psychological breaking trip on acid or psilocybin or dimethyltryptamine? Because I think, and again, they're doing a community-based Warframe lately. This next Warframe that they're going to design is going to be all designed by the community. Dude, I want to do, if I could have a say in that, because it'll be like probably drawn out of a hat and everybody's ideas will be culminated in what this Warframe will end up being. It'd be amazing to make it a Warframe called Dimitri, because that is the code for DMT sometimes. And then you can make like this very crazy, like fractalized, it'd be like an Alex Gray painting mixed with on like a MC Escher type design, but you need it to be like androgynous, both like a duality type design, because it would be both the feminine and the masculine, but without trying to be too much like, yeah, we're trying to get points with the woke factor. It's like, no, just fucking being human rather than being propagandist. But it probably would end up being that, because if you're trying to do anything where it's like, you mean this character is both supposed to be a male and a female? Fuck yeah, bro. Are you also down for illegal immigrants and you pay for their health? Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck.
Well, I mean,
talking
illegal
about a
immigrants.
Talking about a
Very
fucking...
much. I don't know. I feel
And
like
it's not even illegal immigrants. It's not the wall, even though that would help with child trafficking and force these motherfuckers to adapt, and by golly, they would. But for a while, you wouldn't have kids getting shipped over in crates as like, it's art, don't touch it. You don't want to lose your job. That could be art. Probably just somebody getting sexually trafficked, but it's art because the state says it is. Beyond that, it's always going to be that way, so why would anything else change with games or the factors of why people tell themselves that they do it? It's like, the people do it because there's nothing else to do, because it's what their parents do.
Like, what in their
because
right
it's the popular
mind
thing to do.
makes it.
Because again, like you said, they did it for money. It's like, because no one else looks at it like, why did they make this game? It's like, because they wanted to make another fighting game, or they wanted to make, like, why did they make Days Gone? Like, it's just another, to me, really, it's besides the fact that you can kill zombie kids in that game, and that's not something I've seen yet. And I play a lot of games, so I would know. But Days Gone is just, it's Far Cry, it's Assassin's Creed, it's The Witcher, it's Batman, it's the Arkham games, it's running up on zombies who you can do scripted attack animations on. Yes, there's a whole thing with the horde and herd mechanic where when they run after you, it's like getting chased by a stampede of freakers, which is like, what kind of, like, it sounds like that old Doctor Hook song, like Freaker's Ball or whatever, when it's like, or I was into Hook, or no, I think that was an old Merle Haggard song. No, the Freaker's Ball was definitely the Doctor Hook song, but Merle Haggard was the, I was into Whips and Things. No, she was into Whips and Things, I was into Pain, or some shit. Very weird song.
I mean,
All these women out there that are like, I'm weird, I like to be choked. It's like, bitch, you aren't weird. You are basic. You're a basic bitch.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's normal, but at the same time, it's not, because with a lot of people, it's like they'll say they like to get choked, but it's more talk.
Nowadays, you're just asking for a rape allegation or anything. Fucking with most of these women, it's like you can be... Like, did you know there's such a thing as fart rape?
Oh no! Someone tried to give me a rape charge once. I don't know how much I could talk about this, but
It's probably the statute of limitations is probably not up yet, so I would not talk about it.
well, I mean, I'm pretty fuck
What
it.
video game characters do you think have raped someone? Marcus Phoenix has definitely raped somebody. Marcus Phoenix has probably definitely raped a few bitches.
Well, I mean,
I don't think, fucking... What's that guy from, his fucking name? Trevor. Trevor's definitely raped some people. Pretty sure he raped Lloyd and then killed him. That was one of the darkest parts of the game where you're just like, what the fuck did...
yeah, I
It
mean,
was almost where they
no,
stepped
a lot
back
of
and they were like, yeah, you're having
times
fun, right?
is-
Trevor's funny, right?
A lot
He's
of
not so
times
funny
it's
now, is
the
he?
a lot of times too, it's the female trying to hide something.
Lloyd or Frail.
Because it's like, if a girl went to go fuck some loser, you know, like why would they want, like,
You know, when
oh,
I hear most, like, women that I've talked to nowadays are like, yeah, I went to pick him up, and he was
yeah,
at his mom's house. and
they
you're
talk
just like,
about every other guy. They just talk about
you're just
every
like
other
cognitive
fucking guy.
dissonance, and you're just like, I'm gonna take my 10 grand, and I'm gonna go jump out of a fucking plane, lady. You have a good 2020.
Yeah, that's my problem with a lot of girls, is that all they do is talk about, like, other men, bro. Like,
They don't need to talk to you. You're just some local schmuck. They've got a box of dicks, and they're doing just fine. It used to became that it's no longer a tribal thing where they would have only had the men and you would have only had the women in your immediate region, in your immediate area, in your tribe. Now it's like every thirsty motherfucker within 1,000 miles can be talking to them, so they really don't even need to look your way because their box of dicks is just constantly like hitting them up, and dudes are trying to slide into those DMs, and every thirsty guy out there is also not helping the situation because they are inflating these women's expectations of themselves and their entitlement of themselves as like, I better get Superman, and it's like, or I better get Clark Kent, and it's like, bitch, you aren't fucking Lois Lane. You're a fucking single mom with kids by sometimes 4 different kids by 3 different dads. Like, get the fuck out of my face, lady. You wash up on my shores in my promontory in my 30s, and we'll be fucking Lord of the Flies. I'm not fucking over here like, yes, come aboard, and I'm going to worship your ran through. No. Look, we're not being misogynist or sexist. I mean, we may as well damn well be when we're talking about anything to do with MRA. If you do nowadays, you are basically committing to being along the lines of Aryans or the alt-right, which really isn't a thing anymore to people who know anything about anything, or Nazis. But really, we're only being sexist because men aren't even allowed to talk about their lot in life anymore. It's that you're supposed to man the fuck up, take the responsibility, and have none of the authority. Take the responsibility of that you got her pregnant. If you decide that you don't want to keep it, she's got all the authority to keep it, and you are going to have all the responsibility of it, but none of the authority if you want to not. If you want to keep it and she wants to get rid of it, you're going to have all the responsibility of... Well, no, you're going to have none of the responsibility. She's going to kill it because it's her body, her choice, you fucking misogynist, you patriarchal Nazi. And you will have no say.
They just look at you like you're the one that put the fucking dick in her.
Yet they expect you, they expect men, and the more and more, that's why, again, we come back to why this is about games. This is about that we are going to be the motherfucking Siskel and Ebert of video games, because there is not anyone to talk about them
Like,
the
oh,
theater
I'm
they're on. There's not
empowered, I'm
anyone
a
to talk about them
housewife.
late night pop culture.
Like, shut
because
the
these women more and
fuck
more as
up.
they become the opposite and the antithesis of what women were, and they just become shitty males with vaginas, but they're not women anymore, they're just females. It becomes more and more relevant why men are just like, they're like, what, you just play video games all the time? It's like, yeah, because what the fuck else am I gonna do?
It was
Give
funny
all my
how
hard-earned money and my goddamn labor to some entitled bitch who wants everything and deserves none of it?
And also, like people treat women like there's some, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and I'm a fucking asshole.
Genuine Podcast does not obviously endorse feminism, first wave, second wave, or third wave feminism. If you haven't endorsed or guessed that by now, well, you know, there's the door.
Look, as far as feminism goes, look, I believe that, like, don't hit people, like, girls. I don't know, maybe because, but
That was a
I
real
don't
simplified-
know.
But you know,
Like,
look, we shouldn't be
like-
hitting broads, but
like,
they need to
bruh,
get back in the goddamn kitchen.
But like, nah.
I'm just saying, they need to.
Nah, like,
You know
nah,
what's up? They shouldn't have ever gotten fucking rights in the first place, but you can't say that, and nothing's ever going to change because you'd have to get these women who are the majority of the demographic of consumers, of the voter base, of any change of the swing of the pendulum. You'd have to get them to vote away their unearned privileges, and you're not going to get together with a coalition of men and be like, all right, ladies, how about we talk about, you know, taking your rights away?
No, I don't
You're going to
know.
do that. They're going to kill you.
See,
They're going to fucking cancel you.
See, I don't know about that. 'Cause
Genuine Podcast is canceled.
No, the reason why I say shit like that, but look, here's the thing, like, I believe that there are some fucking badass fucking girls out there that would kill somebody, that would fucking, like, slaughter someone, that have sense, that are smart. It's just, I believe that it's rare to find.
Oh yeah, man, the Nawalk
There
is
is
rare.
the war,
You talk
there
about-
is the Laura Crofts out there, there is the,
because you are talking about the textbook Nawalt. And what the Nawalt is the acronym of not all women are like that. But the one thing you need to realize is that through the gynocentric power of the state and the fact that the Duluth model and the Briefalt's law, you will always be the one to go to jail. You will always be the one to pretty much be looked at as the oppressor and women are the victims. No matter what, not all women are like that. No, that's a huge generalization to say all women are like anything. I understand that. But any and every woman has
There's a
the power given by
generalization
her
for a
through the
reason.
state to realize that she can do whatever she wants. Any and every woman can and will turn feral if given the chance. And nowadays, for me, I'm sorry, as a man, you're not even allowed to be like, look, can you just have maybe only ever fucked one real legitimate relationship? No, I gotta be down with 25 dudes, I gotta be down with 15, and that's the number you're lying to me about? Why the fuck would I invest
The problem
in
with
real legitimate
girls too
sense?
is that,
Why
like,
would I invest anything in that? Because I'm just signing a contract for a business partner that's like, if I want to Enron you, I can, and really it's just gonna be your fault. And people are gonna tell you, oh, you know, you should have chose better, man up. Man up, get the fuck out of my face
I'm
with
very
that.
much
Men
to
kill
say-
themselves more than women. Suicide rate is higher.
I'm
men have
very
it
much
harder.
to
We're more
say-
likely to succeed in killing ourselves. Thank you very much. Anything you can do, I can do better. My ass, ladies, put a fucking price on that. You won't kill yourselves better. That's for damn sure. Men will go out to do it, and they're like, I'm gonna just throw myself in front of a train. Fuck it if I end up on the tubes.
well, I mean,
Women
I
are
don't
like,
know, I'm very
I don't know,
much
I wanna
like,
look good in the casket, you know.
I don't
want
know,
that
I'm very much
bitch
to
to
say,
know that I'm still prettier than her after death.
I don't know, I'm very much to believe that, like, girls should be able to do whatever they want, but it's
That's
just,
what got us here.
yeah.
That's why everything is falling apart. Because when men decided that they didn't need to police women anymore, when men just became hedonists, when men became like, I just want a fat ass thought. I want
No,
her to
that's
be
not even what
done
I
with it.
mean, like,
Women will do exactly what men want, and women will become nothing worth it. Because again, like I said, the greatest paradox of our time is that guys any guy you ask that has the fortitude to be a man and want what he wants a preferably thin virgin wife who he can invest a life in and not worry about her being so ran through she's going to divorce him or dump him or run at the
if you talk to these girls, they'll tell you. If you talk to these girls, they'll tell you how many guys they fucked. Like, people
well,
look at it.
How many?
Oh, they tell
I don't
me.
need to know anymore because
Maybe it's
they
just
won't
me.
tell you the exact number. Like if they say like 10, that's probably a conservative estimate. And it's like it's probably more like 25. Shit, dude. If I got to accept more than anything like that, then men have already lost their position in this society. This society is dying. We are basically just twisting in the wind at this point, and there is not a goddamn reason for me to do anything except work every day of my life, play video games, and go skydiving.
I don't know. I feel like if I was a girl, I'd have it easier to fuck guys. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's easier for them to fuck guys. The 30% of millennials and people ages 18 to 34 that are part of the Great American Sex Drought, women aren't part of that drought because women now more than ever, it's easy for them to filter out all the guys they would have just filtered out anyway and just go straight to the Chads and Tyrones.
That's why every person, that's why everybody's going gay. Like, the whole thing about people going gay, it's not because they're really gay, it's because there's no girls that will fuck them. And all girls ever do is talk about guys to those people. It's very kind of fucked if you think about it. Like if you're a guy, no girl would want to fuck you. You really want to have sex. Fucking what do? You try and find a way to have sex.
Validating yourself through pussy. Go do taekwondo. Go fucking take up shooting. Go take psychedelics. Go fucking do anything else other than what you think matters. Because if you put expectations on that, odds are you'll kill yourself in the end anyway, like Elliot Rogers. Or like this one dude, he killed himself at this Christmas Eve party that my sister was at. He fucked 2 chicks in the same night. The party was thrown for him. Still killed himself. None of it really seems to matter all that much. And again, I'm not investing, like, for me, it's not even like, it is the principle of, like, I got my own fucking standards, and if I want a virgin, when women are like, oh, I fucking want a man that's got a 6-inch dick, 6-figure income, 6 feet tall, fucking 6 months out of a serious relationship.
Everything.
Like, the 666 fucking rule. All that shit. It's like, no, bitch, what am I getting? I'm getting something that you already gave to the worst that society has to offer sometimes. Fucking parasites, fucking wastes of absolute life that are going to, if the boogaloo ever happens, if the world goes back and the pendulum swings right again, are gonna fucking die like vermin, like fucking scurrying into the sewers of the forgotten age, of the bygone era of progressivism and egalitarianism as the pendulum swings violently back to the right. And it will, and is going to, and currently is. Starts out in things like Brazil, and you've got all the drug dealers being fucking executed in the slums. I'm not down for that, but even if you aren't down for it, the bullet's still going through your head, man.
It's happening. And you don't have a choice.
It's like, buddy, it's cool. Just get the fuck on the ground, put the blindfold on. Look, dude, I'm gonna... Do you want me to shoot your wife? I'll shoot your wife.
Yeah, and everything's today is now murder. It's not... There's no respectable fights. Like it used to be back then. Yeah, no, it's very much like, oh, fucking buy a gun, kill him.
Put up your dukes, pal. And when I get knocked out, I don't have to worry about your brothers coming over and kicking my cranium in, screaming "World Star."
Yeah,
it's like nowadays it's not honorable. Nowadays, if you get knocked the fuck out, they're like, "Yo, motherfucker, let's put this guy in the fucking paraplegic ward."
Yeah, it's more war, but it makes no sense because this is the peacefulest time right now.
Back then, when everybody was armed, when everybody you knew had a gun on them, people weren't going to come up and be like, "What, motherfucker?" Like, people were on their best behavior.
Yeah, because they knew they were gonna get shot. Now, if you even think about shooting, you're a psychopath.
We got a lot through the rise of modernity. We got pretty much everything you fucking see before you and everything we're doing right now. Whichever people are listening to us on this stream or sitting there through whatever device they have, and they've stumbled upon this through the Wi-Fi, and it's coming to them through almost a technology which would be like magic to people that didn't understand it, but if you can explain it, it becomes a little less magic. Everything that's been given to us, from pop culture to the Industrial Revolution, to the machine, to the printing press, to digitized information, to the speed of thought and the sharing of ideas, and like we're talking to each other over a fucking video game right now. We met each other over a video game, and like all these things are good, but modernity has also given us thieves, and people see you as like, oh, that guy's got a QLED TV and he's got a better car than me. I'm going to murder him and steal his shit. It's giving you something that you have to defend against because people see it as if you have more than them, then you've oppressed them in some way.
Even though
That
that's
is
never
the
the
key
case.
to the world they want to sell people. If anybody has more than you, well, it's obviously because they're oppressing you, not because you suck.
Even though there's people that have far more than those people that are actually oppressing them. That are actually...
Yeah, man, there's people out there with $11 trillion. Like,
that, and they will
go to them
never
and I'm
see it as an oppressor. They will see it as the saviors.
man, we should murder those people because I don't have $11 trillion, man, and I'm never ever going to fucking do anything or work that hard or murder enough people for that kind of money. But I want that kind of money. It's like, people like that are just part of the problem. It's like, fuck off, enjoy your life, live your little shitty existence, and don't ask for anything else because it's never going to be anything else. At best, you can make it better, but you're never going to be the elite. You're never going to be the rich. Do you give a fuck, Ben? Like, right now.
Yeah.
Like, if I asked you, like, do you care about the ants outside in your yard
No.
right now? Like, there's probably somewhere near your property, there's probably an anthill. Do you fucking care what they're doing? Do you even think about what they're
No,
doing or what they're building
not at
towards or
all.
what their
That their
colonies-
goals are, or what the... I don't...
That's how
See,
they
but yet
think
people...
of us. That's how they don't think of us. The elite don't
Yeah.
think of us. We don't
Or they...
register. You don't factor.
Yeah, like, I don't think of the little ants or the little bugs
Think of all the
around me.
millions of people out there right now that are sure as you and me are breathing right now. They're listening to me and you. You're never going to know who they are. You're never going to know they exist, but they do. Do you even comprehend that? But they don't matter to you, and we don't matter to them. So for people to think that it's this whole like, man, why these guys gotta be billionaires, man? Like, fuck the rich man, and the
'Cause
rich
they
just
work
get
harder
richer,
than
and the
you.
poor. It's like, or they fucking are willing to murder more people than you, or they're willing to fucking be in a position of power that they've been in since their families have had that generational wealth since before you were ever born, and you're never gonna have that kind of generational wealth, and you're pretty much just wasting your life force on like, man, why are some people billionaires? Why do some people get to fuck 14-year-olds on islands? Why do some people
Like,
get to
a lot
pay
of these
$10,000
people behind
to
the
have their enemies
scenes-
killed?
A
Because
lot of
some
the-
people have different lives, because life isn't fair.
And a lot of times too, it's just people work like they give us video games to grind, and they give us media to watch, they give us things to do, but what are we doing in our lives? Nothing. And they make us feel like we can do nothing.
Most of us are
like,
just working day to day, just doing a job. Yo, what's up?
So, what were you trying to say behind that little ant?
We are the ants in that colony to them. Like, we don't even exist to them. They don't think about us. They're not like, well, would they care?
Is the same way. I think, like, we go by, you don't bother us, we don't bother you. It's as simple as that, you know?
I mean, you would think that, and I used to think that. Like, I'm like, man, I got no problem if there's billionaires in the world, if there's people like Bezos, if there's people like Salar Al-Dawadi or whatever the fuck the guy is, like the richest guy in the Middle East. Like, all these, I have no problem with that if they're just gonna be rich men and they're just allow you to be whatever you are in your life. But a lot of times, these motherfuckers are buying, like, you can look it up for yourselves, and people talk about Russian collusion and that they rigged an election and that Trump is just a fucking figurehead put in there by Putin and all that shit. It's like, none of that is true. It's just a big nothing burger that they wasted everybody's time with. They wasted taxpayers' money with the Mueller investigation, with the dossier, with the fucking wiretapping a sitting president, like the fucking plot of a goddamn Clancy novel.
But really, you can go back to Obama's campaign and Obama's presidency, and it is confirmed now that was paid for, his campaign was bought and paid for by Saudi Arabian tycoons. So really, you can look at it as guys from another country, another place entirely.
Well, the
had
whole
enough money
thing
to be
about like a president.
I want a black president for America. I want a democratic black president for America.
Well,
if that isn't fucking collusion, if that isn't Saudi Arabian collusion, then what the fuck is Russian collusion?
Well, the whole thing
People with
too.
money can do whatever they want, and when you realize that they will, you're like, okay, so we might have a problem. When you're like, look, just leave us alone. It's like, they are not gonna leave you alone. I'm not gonna leave you alone. I want your house. I want your kids. And you'll say like, just leave me alone. Just let me have my little fucking room and my games and my movies and my fucking chihuahua. Just leave me alone. And they're not gonna leave you alone.
Yeah, no, but it's very
They're
much
coming to
like,
everything you fucking know. The demographics will change. The world, make no mistake, the world is constantly, as you die, as your loved ones die, as the generations move on and die, and their families continue to come back, and you better believe they raise their ancestors and their progeny and their posterity to do exactly what they've been doing for the long game. They fucking subvert this motherfucker, and they change it, and they shift it to go exactly where they want it to go. All the while making the younger generation think that, hey, we just legalized gay marriage. That's a big fucking middle finger to the system. We have a black president now. Fucking, we're changing things. No, you're not. You're doing exactly what they want you to do.
yeah.
Whether or not Trump is reelected, or whether or not this is his last term, he is going to be the last Republican president. And that is where the real problems lie. This guy knows what I'm talking about. Demographics are destiny, man.
But I mean, it's also crazy too, cause like I don't know, man. I mean, I
Again,
mean,
if you know
like,
anything about what the fuck I'm talking about, we are now Nazis. This is now hate speech. If we had a big enough platform, we would now be canceled because you can't talk about this shit. Nazi is just a word they call you to shut you up nowadays, just like racist. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Just like when you watch a mob movie and they say fuck 1,000 times and you're like, it's just how they talk.
Yep.
They just call you Nazi to shut you up. No, yeah, you can't. Everything's changing. And it's going to change, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it except get a better job and provide for you and yours. Which you aren't going to remember, because if you can do that, then you've already done it, and so you're doing it right now. Do you remember the life that you lived? Can you remember what you just were? Or do you feel like you've only ever been the guy you are now?
No. That's where you're wrong, Abe. In my opinion, like, you and me, we literally just got fucking created. We weren't some fucking soul that was from another life. To me, I don't see how that would be a thing, because we'd obviously have a memory so close to our soul that we'd remember it through another life, clearly.
I had memories like that where I feel like I was in a war. But also, what was also
He was in a flame war.
what's also funny to know is that your trauma, like of anyone in your ancestry blood tree, like that actually, the trauma for that actually affects you. So like if your great fucking grandpa but had some trauma, that will actually transfer over to you, and that apparently is a scientific fact. That that's what they do. Like
That's the most convincing scientific fact I've ever heard, and that is apparently a scientific fact.
no, like I was
Thank
even
you, everyone. I'll
talking.
be signing books
No,
after the conference.
I actually had a talk with a doctor about it, and she said
I'm
that was
legit.
true. So I don't know. Maybe it's like not that. Maybe it's not like that. I honestly don't
There
know.
are doctors that take pictures of people's penises whenever they're out
Looking for
under anesthesia, and they post them online.
two swords.
That's true.
You are a witcher.
Yeah, man.
Because there's
Lots of
money.
stuff going on.
Of Rivia. you will find
No, they do their job, but you know they're gonna have a little fun. They're gonna post your dick online. They're gonna post your fucking vagina online. Because they're probably still the same asshole they were in high school, but just became a very successful surgeon. All right, now that we posted this dude's micropene, let's get that kidney out of him.
Yeah, done.
Saves your life, but also is like
you know, there's a whole
post this on-
business of telling the wife and child that the baby, that there's like for babies and shit. Apparently, fucking there's a whole business that is basically like they tell the wife that the child has died.
Celebrity
then,
women use foreskin cream for facial, like lotion and skincare and all that. Like the actual skin from foreskins and all that. They use that as like a facial treatment. But
I mean, makes sense. Makes
Doesn't
enough
know.
sense.
the only thing that makes sense is that we are all profoundly adjusted to a sick society.
Yep.
And once you know that, you're pretty much fucked. What can you do? Can you say that you're any better, that you're going to lead the charge, that you are going to fight the revolution? It's like, every one of you out there is probably addicted to more degenerate porn than you could fucking ever hope to crawl out of the maelstrom of. You're probably more normalized to just being able to watch and entertain anything, and you aren't going to start a fight. You aren't going to... If you've never tried to start a fire in the woods with a stick and wood, like the way you see in those movies where they rub the stick, you know, and then you fucking start the fire, fucking, you have no idea how quickly you're going to die in the first night.
Yep. I've done some crazy shit in my life, I would say, but I don't know. It's more of, I don't know. I feel like people just see it now as, oh, like, it doesn't need to be that way, but does it? Really, does
The
it?
majority of people see it now is that we have come so far and we can't regress back to a certain point. They think that with our glowing screens and our fucking dating apps and our fucking massively connected information digital world and everything streaming on demand and everything is right in your face the moment you want it, click it, touch it, get it now, boom. They think that we can't go back to the natural state of mankind, which is war, poverty, and death. And we can go back just like that.
Yep.
Don't want to, but the more and more people keep fucking going with things, the more and more that... I mean, the latest thing that might happen is this whole thing now with the collapse of the markets and the run on the banks. Like, I am currently going to be trying to get all of my cash out of the bank this week because I am not going to get stolen or fucking funneled on, like, as happened to my grandma and some other people in my family whenever the stock market goes under and literally there is no more money in the banks, there's no more money in the ATMs, there's no more money in anything because all the cash is gone. Did you know there's only, like, in physical cold hard cash, there's only about $11.7 trillion on Earth? Like, that's all. Everything else is just numbers in the system.
Yeah.
And what I got isn't shit, not even a drop in that gargantuan
Yeah, there's
sea.
what's
But
his
it's
name?
enough for me to
Floyd
need to get it out.
Mayweather has $10 million in cash. He flexed $10 million.
Dan Snyder has fucking... Dan Snyder's worth $30 million. Like, and if you're a comedic actor in most movies, if you're a side act and you only... Like a supporting actor, you get like 30 grand for the role.
Yeah. For most actors, some actors get paid a lot, and that's the people that you see at the top. Those are the people that you want to be, but most people that are lead actors don't get paid shit.
Because you're a vehicle for advertising. They put your face there and you're going to sell millions. Much like anything with... And that's why I really like games, because there is no actors. There's not a real guy who's out there like, I'm the fucking face of this. Like, I mean, there is things where they try to do, like Quantum Break was that one guy, and then we now have things like Death Stranding. And if that had taken off, I guarantee you there would have been more instances. I still will be surprised one day if it's like, I'm playing as Brad Pitt, or this is Tom Cruise, or whatever the fuck.
I know someone
Whenever
who,
they see video games.
I know someone
But I
who's
like
a
it how when you play
producer.
video games, it's not a real guy.
Yeah, I know someone who's a producer that makes music or makes beats for music, and he worked with this one person, and she grossed over like $15 million for a song that he produced, and he told me he didn't even make any money out of that pool. He told me at most he made like, he couldn't even eat that night, but yet there's an opportunity, you know? It's like, is it really, I don't know, is it really like that? I don't know, maybe. Like if you worked for a company, right?
Yeah.
And you just made that company like $20 million, you'd want some of that money, but it's like, nope, you get none of that. Or you get the
I guarantee over the
specs.
time that I worked for Pizza Hut from 2015 to 2018, I fucking guarantee I made them so much more money than I actually made, because if you don't build your own empire, you're going to help someone else build theirs.
Yep. And only the people that are
But I haven't even tried to go it alone yet and pay rent or have a fucking relationship while doing all that or do anything.
Yeah, like a lot of
they don't
people,
realize that
how
the
good
rich
they
have
have
already
it.
left you all behind.
And they
If you
don't
think you're
realize
middle
how good they have it
class,
too.
You may
'cause-
very well be, but odds are you're not, and you will realize that you can't support a family, you can't have a relationship if you're not both willing to work. Like they're designing the entire world to basically be like, why would you be anything else other
Yeah.
than a homebody who just goes work and home, work and home, work and home, and everything else that you do is just hedonistic escapism or fucking savage, degenerate pornography or other shit like in 1984 where they have the porno sec or they have the fucking literacy programs where they just sell us salacious articles of sports and murder and tabloid bullshit.
Yeah. You know what I'm starting to realize as I'm playing The Witcher?
What?
Cause I don't really want to do any like big story things. Cause while I'm streaming and stuff, cause I don't really want while I'm talking to there to be a big like story plot. I've just been kind of exploring the map. There's not like a whole lot to do as far like there is, but like
I mean, there's a lot to find and explore, but I find with The Witcher, it's kind of this weird sense of like
the story is very
is not getting paid money to go run out in this field and possibly get his ass killed by a Mirelurk, or I mean not a Mirelurk, wrong game. Fucking what are those things called? Those I forget those
Boglets?
bloaters or those boglets? Yeah, they're boglets. Those blue
Drowners.
ones that hang out by the water.
Oh,
Those blue,
drowners.
like, fake, yeah,
Drowners.
drowners. He's not getting paid to go because the map really is like a video game. It's like a huge. Everything is beckoning you forth out into the unknown wilderness, where it's like, look at this treasure icon, look at this question mark, look at this, look at that. But Geralt really, in his sense of when you
No, like, I like
play it,
doing
you
the-
role play it, you're like, why would I be running out here where he could possibly get wounded or hurt or fucked up, where he's going to have to pay money to fix that? Like, he's not getting paid. This is stupid. I'm not going to do this. It's almost like the same thing I did in Wolfenstein 2, where like the more and more you start to role play games,
Well, I
you kind of
like-
ruin them in the sense of just experiencing them, because you are like, why would I stop and read this Nazi's journal? Like, why would
But
DJ
the one thing I
Blazkowicz give
liked
a
about
fuck?
Witcher though in doing that is that you get
Nazis.
rewarded a lot for doing that. Like I just went to like a corner of the map to see what was out there, and I found Mastercraft armor.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's like, it's like a video game. It wants you to go out there and find it. But unlike a video game, it was the first ever game where it's like, you're a professional. Maybe don't do something if you don't have to. Like, it's not like an RPG anymore where you're like, Geralt is gonna go risk his ass to kill a fucking werewolf
When he's
in the
looking for
nearby
Ciri.
mountains because they're gonna pay him. He's not gonna go run out and be like on the way to a town in the middle of a storm. Like, let me just run into that swamp and not get killed by this gang of wolves or this fucking creature that's gonna pull me into the water. Like, it's kind of stupid in the sense of like when you're role playing, you're like, he wouldn't do that if he's not getting paid. He would just keep going in the next town. Like, I'm not gonna fucking on my day off show up at Walmart and start doing my fucking job. I'm not getting paid.
Yeah. Like you're not
No
just,
man works for free.
like you're not gonna
Whereas like other games, like Zelda, you're just fucking running around and you're just like, I'm gonna run over to this camp of bokoblins and fuck them up because I am the boy with the sword and the shield, or I'm gonna run over here and fuck these dudes up, or I'm adventuring over here, I'm gonna do this stuff. It's not like there's no part of you that's like,
I do
why
that
would
though,
you
but it's
do
like
this?
whenever I'm in the story, but like I like to do a lot of the quests and shit, you know? Like I like doing all that shit. I like trying, testing the waters. I like to see what people,
Oh yeah, Witcher 3, unlike a lot of most every other game
because
of this
there's
generation,
story and
the first
everything in
game,
this game.
the side quests in Witcher 3 all loop into the main story. Like they're not just go kill these boars and bring me back their hides.
Yeah.
You can change entire parts of the main game just by doing stuff within these side quests.
Hold up, how long have we been running for? Just cause, we've been running for about an hour 30. Okay. You wanna go longer, or you wanna end it right here?
We can keep going.
Okay, cause I don't know, I'm more thinking about the ending, honestly, right now. I mean, cause there's interesting stuff, but, I don't know, I feel like, I mean, you want to do a little segment real quick, cause I need to go kind of do something. Just do like a little, alright, yeah, alright, I'll be back.
You're just thinking something?
I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes maybe. Fuck.
Not so fast, Roach.
Alright, he's gonna do a little segment and entertain y'all. I'll be back.
Ever ask yourself why you care so much about a rank or any type of thing in games where there always seems, there's always that, because again, it's one of the last places, one of the last bastions where men can be men, where you can get into a shootout with an enemy faction, you can rush into a stronghold and gut the artillery, stop the bad guy, save the girl and the world, get home, fucking living double lives. It's a lot of the archetypes of the hero's journey that is mostly being lost in everything else, and even so much in the mainstream, it's being pushed out of the genre, being pushed out of the industry. But why do people care so much about rank, about the things that they do as these characters? Yet we play the game of life like you don't care about your job, you don't care about your place in the hierarchy, you don't think that you have to play it, you don't think that it's going to come for you one day and you're going to be owned up to the amount of points you made, and whether or not you feel that that matters, or you're like, man, people that play the game, people that care about the game are losers, yet you want to get every part of the map opened up. You want to climb up every long neck in Horizon Zero Dawn. You want to attack every stronghold and get every Shangri-La piece of the map in Far Cry 4. You want to get all the weapons and all the different mechanics and all the different unlockables and every bit of this digital epic that you yourself on your own volition can conquer. Because what is a game and what is playing a game if not just the evolution of what you used to do with toys when you were younger, or what you used to do with action figures or G.I. Joes? You give yourself an objective, you play in a world of your stakes and your own hierarchy that you create and you navigate in. It's on you to make it or not. You can make it as serious as you want or as casual as you want. There's almost a reason why that is such a big appeal, I think, to this generation where, again, any rite of passage to be a man is gone. Any thing that a prior generation would have done, our forebears, it's all basically being poisoned now as, oh, that's the patriarchy, or that's toxic masculinity, or that's something where, I mean, when they keep raising young boys as defective girls, you wonder why whenever it's like, oh, no, it's fine, Tommy, just express yourself, just express your emotions. Tommy's gonna come to the school with a automatic weapon, and he's gonna express himself all over his classmates.
Alright, I'm back. I have the little thing I just kind of wanted to say. What's the point, or just a little topic, I guess, because I don't know, I wanted to get it out of the way. What's the point of being nice anymore? What would you say? Would you get a point to be nice anymore, or no?
Everyone out there, I'm sure, has their own idea of who they think they are and who they want to be. Now ask yourself if every day in your life, when you were about to transgress the bounds of walking the line, and you're about to fall, and you're about to fuck up and fail, ask yourself if when you know you're about to do that, because most people lie to themselves, and they need other people to tell themselves something they already know. They need other people to convince them that how the magnitude of and how grand of a style that they have fucked up their entire life is okay and it's justified. Like, the best thing, especially for guys and boys and men, the best thing that we do is fuck up our lives in fantastic ways and then justify our reasons for doing so. So just imagine if when you yourself understand that you're about to fuck up, you're about to transgress, you're about to come so far to probably places to where you cannot return from. Imagine if everyone else did the same thing. What would the world be like? If when everyone knew that they're about to do something they shouldn't be doing because they know in their heart of hearts that it's wrong, that you aren't going to be the same, what would the world become if everybody did that? And ask yourself if it's still important to be nice.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know, like, cause earlier today my dad came in my room and he's like, what, are you an asshole? And honestly, I really think I am, but I also don't think I care, because I don't know, maybe it's just, like, I've been finessed, I've been robbed, I've been basically out of everything, just trying to have a friend and be nice to those people. Like me, every time I've tried to be nice to someone, every time I've tried to give someone something, tried to be, I guess what some people would call a simp or whatever, trying to be helpful, I've always got the shitty end of the stick. I've always got really fucked over. So now it's like, I don't even care. Like if someone's a fucking idiot, they're an idiot and they can go fuck themselves and kill themselves for all I care.
I find there's a fine line between losing out on when you start to view the rest of humanity as I did when I was younger, like, here I am among the locusts. Then you really do start to become a sociopathic, nihilistic asshole who thinks that you've got some edge over everybody else in the world. When
don't even mean that.
most everyone else thinks these things. They just never stop. Like, the things that we talk about may not even, and are not even, that deep or existential or what would you call it, revelatory. But
yeah, no, I'm not, I don't even mean
them. They may just think them and then move on with their lives, and then they become successful and they have six-figure bank accounts and they have kids and they've got beach homes and time off.
No, it's like
it's the equivalent of wanting to flip the board over because you suck at Monopoly and everybody else is having a good time. Yes, I want to flip the board over, but my family members and everyone else that I don't know is still playing the game.
So why don't you leave them behind? If you know that's for the better of yourself.
Because all you've got in the end is family and friends. Once you're alone, once you become an old man, once you start to really progress in your years, you understand that eventually you are going to die alone, but there's a difference between dying alone like everyone does and living and suffering alone, knowing that nobody wants to be around you, nobody gives a fuck about you, nobody would care if you were brutally murdered or raped or found dead after fucking being shot or held up for ransom, or
I don't
no one
know.
would care if the cops came and imprisoned you. There's no one there to pay your bail. There's no one there when a low IQ fucking moron accuses you of some shit that you did not do and is now stalking you at your fucking job.
Yeah. No.
He's 30 years older than you. You're fucking 15,
I don't know.
and there's a guy 50 that's trying to be like, dude, you stole my shit. I'm fucking gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, like, I don't know, it's very more of, I don't know, like, people have just fucked with me my whole life, man. It's like, should I really still be nice? Like,
I mean, that comes back around to, should men still keep trusting women, even though in this day and age it's coming out to more and more that women run the fucking world, you're just along for the ride. But again, should we label and paint all women with the same brush?
yes.
It's all
Oh,
up
wait,
to
you
you.
meant, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, people have fucked,
Should you be nice because, should you stop being nice because a few people have fucked you over, or should you understand that there's assholes everywhere, but the majority of people are beautiful beings? Should I believe that most women are gonna fuck me over, so I should just continue making money and fucking doing what I do in my life and not worrying about ever having a family or anything that really matters in the deeper sense anymore, just because somebody broke my heart 8 years ago?
yeah, I mean, no, I feel like I could live my life by myself as far as, like, a lot of things go, because, I don't know, I feel like no one really in my life, like, honestly, I'm fine if no one prays for me. I'm fine if I know that, because I'm not praying for those people, you know? Maybe it's very more my sense of true equality. Like, I don't care for you, don't care for me. You know? Like, what is an ant to us? Like, you said, what are we to the, or, what is an ant to us, what are we to the ant?
What are we to the elites?
Yeah, but well, alright, but the elite matter to the humans, but, I mean, well, alright, if you're an ant, right? In the hierarchical society of, I probably fucking just butchered the word, but in the hierarchical society of an ant, what are humans to ants? What do they think about us? Do they care for us? Or are we just big giants to them that,
I mean, that's kind of the whole concept of roadside picnic.
like, what are dogs? Like, if you're a dog, what do dogs think of humans? Like,
DMT and psychedelics to me is like why I don't ever talk about them anymore, because it really is like ants at the side of a freeway trying to even understand what a freeway is. You are basically being encroached upon by another world that has always been there and will always be there, that you can't understand, you can't know. So what are we to ants? We're basically aliens,
yeah.
living our lives that they don't even care about.
Like, ants don't care about us. They still go in their food. They do whatever it takes to survive. Now that's what I mean, like, is being nice worth it over survival, or?
Yes, because survival is animalistic, and in our most base primal nature, it is like part of our tribal instincts. But we are human. We have opposable thumbs. We look at art as more than being lights and sound and just colors on a canvas. We have religion. We have philosophy. We have math. We have English. We have literature. We are more than animals. If we can't be more than animals, then what hope do we have?
And I think that's a good ending segment, would you say?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, thank you for anyone that was watching. And, yeah, have a good life. Eat healthy, stay on your health. Be smart, play games. You're not playing chess, you're not playing checkers, you're playing chess. Alright.
Prepare your lives to learn and make sure yourself.
Alright.